So Kalonzo is president with 18 MPs. Gachagua is out there, he's nothing with 100 MPs. How will Kalonzo govern? Before we even talk about making Kalonzo the president.
In that scenario, the last time you ran on video, you still keen on running on video. Are you not worried that the political prospects of the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka are much higher than they were in 2022, now that he's elected to be the presidential candidate for the united opposition?
One, I have to say this. I've tried to follow the political happenings, and I will tell you that the prospects of our brother Kalonzo Musyoka will have been looking good if we did not have that character called Gachagua in that formation. Gachagua is a bully. Gachagua is a divisive figure. Gachagua doesn't think outside the mountain. Assuming what we've seen on the media is true, that he's demanding for 50% share of the government, that itself is enough to break that political formation. And from where I stand, there's nothing like united opposition.
What if Kenyans on their own decide to vote for Kalonzo Musyoka without considering that he is Gachagua?
In 2013, when there was that conversation about Uhuru and Ruto going to The Hague, the young people at the time, now at CC, we came up with a very interesting information. Peter Kenneth. Everybody was talking about Peter Kenneth in 2013. Peter Kenneth and Tuju. I want to ask you what happened. There is nothing looking, just go to the social media and look at arguments of the so-called Gen Zs. Those arguments are still tribal rooted. We have a Gen Z, yes, and I thought maybe after what happened in June, we will have a political conversation devoid of tribal formations. But even those young people are purely tribal. So the prospect of having Kenyans decide to give Kalonzo the votes is one thing. For you to have to say that you can run a successful political presidential campaign, you must be able to marshal candidates for MP in at least 150 constituencies. Strong candidates, not watu wa kujazilia kama sisi 2020, sisi 2027, 2022, some of us walikuwa najazilia. Ukuwe na 150, ikuwe saizi, Wiper can marshal 150 frontliners in 150 constituencies. So even if everybody was to say, let us give Kalonzo Kura as a president, how will he govern with a maximum of 23 MPs and 3 senators? And exactly, now that's the game that Gachagua is playing. Gachagua has told his people that we want DCP to have 140 MPs. Ask yourself, why is it that Gachagua has withdrawn his candidates from non-mountain regions? Because he wants to have a political formation where every political player is confined to his region. Let Wamalwa go confined to Western. Let viti ya Western. Let Gachagua bring viti ya Mountain. Let Kalonzo bring viti ya Ukambani. Viti ya Ukambani maximum ni 22 constituencies. Hizo 22 ni chukue mwingi North. Nimrod achukue Kitui East, mwingine achukue of the 22 apate 18. Gachagua, because the Mountain tunasema maybe it's gone because we are not even looking at it so much. Tuseme sasa Gachagua ameenda the Mountain. How many seats are there in the Mountain? How many constituencies are there in Mount Kenya? I don't have the exact number, but there are more than 100. So Kalonzo is president with 18 MPs. Gachagua is out there, he's nothing with 100 MPs. How will Kalonzo govern? before we even talk about making Kalonzo the president.
In that scenario, Akili, you are assuming Kalonzo will only get MPs from Kambani.
We are 2 years to elections. Tell me one formidable candidate for MP in Uasin Gishu, running under Wiper, in Baringo, in Mandera, in Nyanza. Just nihesabu tu. You know, and the whole mistake comes to our people. Our elected MPs, our Kambani, are the ones that have let Kalonzo down. They have confined Kalonzo to Kambani because their interest is to use his name to get elected, but not to build that party, to expand the party. Because if Kalonzo saizi, tunasema hivi, when Wamunyoro was running away with the few MPs he has, actually because he doesn't have the MPs, when he was running, Kalonzo pia angeenda achukue wake, akimbie na wao. Saizi, he should be really, other than kupeleka ng'ombe nini Bondo, he should be caught in these Nyanza MPs. Achukue those Nyanza MPs. Sasa ikuwe anajua vizuri, niko na strong candidates wa Nyanza, niko na strong candidates. But you cannot let people go into an election with their own political formation, then you are their president. Gachagua knows that he was impeached because of lack of numbers. So the next president, which of course will be William Ruto, but hii formation nyingine wanasema ati even if you give Kalonzo akuwe ndio president leo, he will not stand 2 years. He'll be impeached because you don't have the numbers.
No.
That's very important.
So still on Kalonzo, the last 6 months, we've seen some national discussion. Part of it coming from the president himself, William Ruto. Part of it coming from his deputy, Kithure Kindiki. They are saying they want to court Kalonzo. They want to invite Kalonzo into their government. What is it about Kalonzo which makes the Kenya Kwanza government want Kalonzo so much? Like they are desperate for his support.
One, they are not desperate for his support. And I don't want to say this, but when you've studied someone for long, you know their weakness. Kalonzo's weakness is attention. So when these people give him attention, his handlers now will tell him, Munene Nuju, no, the 6th, I don't want to go. I can tell you nobody is giving that attention. Nobody. Yeah. Because when President William Ruto won, even before Azimio went to Supreme Court, the first person the president calls is Kalonzo. When the president was bringing people together. Because, you know, the agenda the president has, unless you have everybody on board, lazima kutakuwa na mashida. So you'll come and sell that idea to you, and that's how now we were able to get Kinamanilo Chap and the other parties that were elected and Azimio to come in. So he told Kalonzo, come. Kalonzo refused. He told him, oh, you see, we are going to the Supreme Court. And they went to the Supreme Court. See what happened? Nothing happened. So I can tell you, Ruto understands the politics of numbers. He knows Kalonzo has the numbers of Kambani. They're not much numbers because Ruto was able to get 27% from Kitui. Actually, Kitui is the only county in opposition in Azimio zone that gave Ruto more than the constitutional requirement of 25%. County in Kitui. So, this, you know, when you come to Kambani, you must, Mimi have run in Mwingino. And if you want to succeed in running, not even winning, do not make your running about Kalonzo Musyoka. That's why I'm not even comfortable you making this podcast about it, because I do not want to speak about Kalonzo Musyoka, because I have tremendous respect for him. He did what he could do. Yeah. Now it is our time. And you see, we do not want to wait for the normal succession process to take place, because we may not be favored to succeed him. So we must take that by force.
So let's go back to the Kenya Kwanza administration and the leadership of President William Ruto. Being a key supporter of the Kenya Kwanza administration from Ukambani, generally Ukambani, are you personally satisfied by the kind of appointment we have seen from Ukambani made by President Ruto in terms of the CS, the PSs? Are they reflective of the support he gets from this
if I was to borrow Gachagwa's mentality of shares, we got more than we gave. Because I'll give you an example of Mwingi North, where I come from. In Uhuru's administration, we had only two presidential appointees. That is Munoze, the Sasra board, and Kalonzo's son, Mwasya, the tourism fund. Now, as we speak, we have 6 board appointments from Mwingi North alone.
Who are they?
I'm there. I'm in Tarda, and the River Development Authority. We have Wakili Nyamu, is there. BRS, that is Business Registration Services. We have Wakili Joel Kinywa from Daraka, is there in Estates Registration Board. We have Wakili Paul Musimi Ndore from Sikuru, is there in Asla Fund. We have Mheshimiwa Mbangula from Mumoni, is there in Kenya Water Institute. And we have Mrs. Nyamu, she's there in, I think, National Labor something. We're 6. Yes, from Mwingi North alone.
Yeah.
So in terms of appointments, you find that he wasn't looking so much about how much I got from that area, but the kind of distribution that I want to make. Yes.
What about the cabinet now?
The cabinet. Yes.
Now where the resources are shared?
The cabinet we had 2.
and we had the sacking of
Benina Malonzo.
Yes.
And the position was given to, I think it was Sana or Samburu somewhere. He was not there.
Yeah, we were affected by the broad-based, and we have to live with it. Yeah, so we maybe we never made good use of the position when it came. We never made good use of it. So we are there. I wouldn't say that ordinarily I'm not satisfied in terms of us not having a CS, especially on the UDA side. Because Mutua is a Mandeleo chap is a member of Mandeleo chap. So the UDA in Ukambani doesn't have a CS. Of course, we control the rest, the board appointments.
We saw the president cumulatively all the projects that were undertaken before Mashujaa were coming to about 2.2 billion. The airstrip, the state road, and the stadium.
And the roads, the town roads.
The town roads. While people are complaining that the impact of those projects has not been felt properly. And they are citing the cancellation of the high Grand Falls Dam, closer home in Taraka. Yeah. So, don't you think that the president is just giving Ukambani token development and denying them the most critical development that they need, the meat, which is water? And by the way, High Grand Falls is a PPP project. It's not being financed by the government.
High Grand Falls, the project was cancelled because the investor did not meet the timeline. They were awarded the contract, but they did not meet the timelines that were set on when to start. So why will we have a contractor 2 years after award, you're still running around?
The contractor, I think the story is different. The project was cancelled because the contractor was not given a final go-ahead. They were at the stage of negotiating the financial clauses.
No, which financial clause is the government negotiating with you, and you've been awarded the tender? So what it was about, if you look at the stories around, I had the chairman of NIA is my friend. Those people kept taking these people around in meeting after meeting, meeting after meeting, meeting after meeting. So we'll keep on having meeting after meeting. What you want is development. It wasn't cancelled because anyone had any interest in it. It was purely because of failure by the contractor to meet the timelines and the conditions set out in the.
So what is the government's plan on that?
I think from what I've heard, the project has been opened up again for bidding, and I think it's been awarded to a certain firm, to a different firm. Yeah, I heard that story just before my Mashujaa Day. Yeah.
So what is can you pick your mind on the president the other day was in Dubai, not Dubai, Qatar. where he spoke very passionately about Kenya's efficiency on energy, that we don't have enough energy resources to drive manufacturing, to drive industrialization, and we have coal within this county. I mean, this county. What is your thought on this? Don't you think that you leaders in UDA are the ones stopping the government from achieving what you want? Because we've had the MP for Kitui East saying that that coal is be mined is dead.
So you see, the challenges that we have is all about perception. I don't know. People are talking about clean energy. I don't know, coal. But if you go to Australia, coal is being mined
everywhere.
And I think we did something with you about coal mining.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah. So I think it's just politics. And now that's where it comes to, sometimes as a leader, you don't have to listen to what people are saying. Do what is right. I think Nimrod knows what is right, but he knows what people are saying.
Okay. Mm. Okay, I think we are winding up this show.
But if we can do Grand Falls, it can at least boost something. Even though Grand Falls originally was designed by Tarda.
Yeah, it was a Tarda project.
Yeah, where I sit. And Tarda designed it as a multi-purpose project, dam. Like, it was an, what do you call it?
Hydropower.
Yeah, it was an, yes. But I think now when NIA came, NIA concentrated so much on flood mitigation and irrigation. But from what I hear, which I cannot authoritatively say, the project I think now is going to be implemented by Kenya. So meaning now we are going back to the power component. They're still waiting.
Okay. Back in politics, there's a lot of news talk in the country nowadays. I think 2 days ago, we had the Senator for Nandi making very outrageous comments about human rights, about Kenya Wao, and encouraging the Ugandan and Tanzanian presidents to Kenya Wao. We understand Senator Cherargei is a lawyer, is a lawyer, and as a president person in this country. Do you agree with Cherargei?
Two things. One, I won't agree with him, and I also will not disagree with him. Because, under international law, there is a principle known as non-interference. No person, no country should be seen to interfere with the internal operations of another country. Whether economic, whether political, you cannot interfere. I was in Dar. I actually came last night. And I can tell you, it is very sad that you are suspiciously seen. Because at the airport, I'm a lawyer, so it will be asked a lot of questions. What brings you to Dar? How long are you going to stay around? No. Which is not a question that I should be asked, and yet I come from the EAC. But I understand why. Because when you have a country where activism has taken root, then you want to import your activism to another country. That's where the problem begins. Even our activists, who are maybe funded by foreign entities and stuff, those foreign entities do not come to bring the activism here. They bring it through our people. Now, it is very funny that now our people, if they think that they want to do activism in Tanzania, let them do it through the Tanzanians. Si ati unapanda ndege hapa, ati wewe sasa ndio umeenda kutetea sijui anaitwa nani, this Tundu Lissu, and you ask yourself, Tanzania hakuna mawakili? Ati wewe ndio umeenda kutetea Kiza Besigye, Uganda hakuna mawakili? That is purely kierere and to interfere. And by the way, honestly, if I was the president today, you want to tell me that Ruto will sit down and see Ugandans coming and start doing things here and like they are the ones running the opposition here? No. Hapo I support what Cherargei is saying. Mtu akitoa kimbelembele yake hapa anaipeleka huko Kenya, that is the problem. Then now wataanza kutupatia another extra expense of going to look for them, negotiating diplomatically for them to be released. Because it has to be done. Government, the government cannot leave people. Government cannot. You will go there and misbehave, and at the end of the day, government has to come. So imagine Ruto having to convince Museveni and Suluhu, hao vijana wangu watabia mbaya, acheneni wangu wakuje. And then they need to understand Kenya, our democratic space is very different from theirs. Yeah. So we should not think those are our vile unatukana Ruto vile unataka, then you can go out and na kwanza si you're not a Tanzanian, unaenda kutukana Suluhu huko. You're not a Uganda, unaenda kutukana Museveni huko. That country, Tanzanians are more than Kenyans. Sasa nataka kutuambia sasa sisi with our 50 million, Tanzania are at 79 million. Sasa sisi ndio sasa now we are freedom fighters, we are going to fight for them. Hiyo nao ni Kierere. Kinya wao akienda huko akileta Kierere, Kinya wao. I support what Kierere said.
But Museveni also similarly meant a very not so friendly comment that he thinks that he can take over the Indian Ocean.
No, I think Museveni was saying that to please the audience, maybe that he was addressing. He knows, and his people know what international law says, and that's why we have never blocked. Kenya has never blocked movement of goods from the nearest port. Under the international law, the international trade, Kenya cannot, because Uganda is landlocked, Rwanda is landlocked. We cannot block the movement of goods. We cannot. Even if today Kenya was to go at war with Uganda for whatever reason, still under the international law, we have to let the passage of goods. So Museveni, I think, was just excited, and maybe, we're in a political season. They are doing the elections next year in February.